kids, welcome to another episode of GLEN YAPS. Been a while since I've done one, probably a month or so. Today, just a short little video. Well, short by my terms. That's probably about an hour and a half long. This one's about timing. Just a simple thing. There seems to be an epidemic of musicians with no timing. I'm not sure where that's all coming from, but definitely a confusing little thing. Not a good thing either. I'm basically just going to explain a count in for a song and what the purpose of it is, to set the timing of a song on stage for the entire band to all start and hopefully come in together. I'm just going to use my drumsticks. It'll probably ricochet through the sound of the camera a little bit louder. I'm not sure how it's going to affect it. We'll find out. This one goes to drummers. I notice a lot of drummers don't totally understand the count in to a song with your sticks. And I've actually played in a band with a drummer. I was a bass player in this one band. It was just a garage band for fun. And the drummer didn't understand that either. Didn't understand that when you count songs in, not only are you dictating where everyone is supposed to start, but you're also dictating the speed of the song. You're also dictating, in some cases, the feel of the song. So I host with the band I'm with a jam night at one of the clubs, and we get all different kinds of musicians up, and that's where you get to see where there's good and bad and everybody. Now, jam nights are all in fun anyway, so I'm not going to rip them apart because they're just in it for fun, and they're just some of them are beginners, and that's totally cool. But eventually, you have to learn timing if you want to advance in the instrument you're playing, and that goes for vocals too. I've played with singers with no timing, and that's a difficult thing. So I've had one singer in the past that didn't play an instrument, so vocally it was difficult for them to learn timing. And I've had some that are musicians also that are also singers and still have that problem. But I notice a lot of drummers lately that don't understand this stick counting thing. So anyways, the stick count, if you're the drummer, basically when you're counting and hitting sticks and you're counting the song in, you have to get the speed of the song in your head. That means when you're practicing that song, you have to memorize the speed of that song. You don't want to be a drummer that learns a song and then when you get on stage you play it way too slow or you play it too fast. Now, we're all guilty of that in some ways, but that's understandable if it's a new song. But if it's a song you've been playing for years or whatever, you really want to at least get the ballpark right on the songs. Now, and I've had my share of boo-boos on that, where I didn't know the song well enough and I've counted it too fast and too slow, and you learn right away because either the singer runs out of breath trying to sing the words, the 50,000 words in the lyrics, and he can't get a breath in, and then he's ready to keel over and drop dead on the stage, or it's so slow that it feels like the death march. So you have to dial those things in. One way is to use a metronome um, on stage, or at least a click track to get you going on the song, just so you get the right tempo at the start. You don't need it all the way through the whole song, but at least it gives you a guide. I'll get into that in a bit. Anyways, so if you're playing a song, let's just use an example for this, like AC/DC, Back in Black. Everybody kind of knows that song, da 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 da, that kind of thing. So, ba da 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 da. So if you're the drummer, it's kick and snare. So kick, snare, kick, snare. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Dun 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 dun. Okay? So your stick count is based on your kick and snare pattern for the most part. I'm not saying that's like that all the time, but in most basic rock songs, you try and get it so that what you hit on the sticks is your kick and snare speed. Okay? So kick. So kick and snare and kick and snare. 1 and 2 and 3. So I'm counting the hits with numbers. The ands are the spaces, or the upbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Have you ever watched the conductors on stage? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and they actually are your metronome. And their wave patterns actually structure the counting factor in the song. Drum 6, same thing. So down, up, down, up, down, up. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm counting the song in. So Back in Black. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and bam, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. What that does is it sets the speed. The song is in 4/4 time, which means you count to 4 every bar through the entire song pretty much. I don't think there's any variables in that song. I could be wrong. But I'm just saying, just to get you going here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This is the downbeat, up beat, downbeat, up beat, downbeat, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I don't know how many drummers do not understand that. Guitar players, down and up. Same with your picking. Blah and down, up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's crazy. Simple stuff. We've got a whole media outlet with YouTube and Rumble and all these video sources, and I can't believe how many people have timing issues to at least just count in a song properly. So anyways, there's also a way to dictate the feel of the song. So if you're doing slow blues, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and kick and snare and kick, snare and bum, boom, bum, 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 dun, dun. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and kick and the snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. What you do with the drumsticks like that is dictate to your bandmates 1, 2, 3 and 4, and even with your verbal counting, you're dictating the feel of the song. You can also tell the guys it's going to be slow blues and just go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If they're experienced players, they'll know what to do, or know what you're basically addressing at what we're doing. But I like to add the 1, 2, the 3, and the 4. I accent the pulse. 1, 2, 3, the 4, the bump, boom, bop, boom, 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 snare, boom, kick, and snare. There's your blues feel or a slow song. Could be like Journey, Loving. I think what is it? Is it Loving, Touching, Squeezing? No, that's not it. That na 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 na. There's a Journey song. I forgot the title of it off the top of my head, but it's the same. 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the boom, boom, bum. You make me weak. That kind of thing. The drums do this in that song. So 1, 2, the 3, and the boom, 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 bop. So what that does, you are the speed dictator if you're starting a song. There's some guitar players that love to start songs, maybe because of a riff that starts it off, and so they might strum it and give it in the count in for the song. I've played with a lot of blues players that love to dictate that, and that's because they've played the song so much they want to dictate the speed just in case the drummer goes a little too fast, too slow. Sometimes their feel for the leads is in a certain zone and they want to dictate that speed, which is totally cool. I've been in bands that do that. I've had one band where the bass player counted it in, but most of the time the drummer does the count-ins. This is important. Okay, I can't stress this enough, because there's some songs where the guitar player might have a lot of chops, or really fast chops. The bass player's got a really busy pattern, and if I play it too fast or too slow, sometimes it makes it hard for them to get through. And that goes for the singer too. You don't want to, like I say, if the singer's got tons of words and you play too fast, they have to be able to breathe. They also have to be able to phrase in that, faster time. And in most cases, it's just not possible. It kind of ruins the song. Now again, nobody's perfect, and I definitely have goofed that a few times. But I remember being in one band, it was a blues rock band, and I used to make sure, because we had multiple singers, I wanted to make sure the times were pretty much in the ballpark for the original song, in relation to the original song. So that way there was no discrepancy in speed that the singer might say, oh, that's too fast, I can't get the words in. Once you set that click to start the song in, and if you can follow it all the way through, or at least get the guide to start the song off properly, you won't kill these people when they have their little sections that are, pretty intense. When I'm playing in certain bands, I've also played to keyboard sequence tracks. So in those cases, I have a double click in my in-ear monitor set. So if for the keyboards, for me to start on time, I need one extra count in. So my ears will hear a click, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then I can relay it, the next 4, to the band. So I actually get 8, they get 4. And the reason for that is just to make sure I have enough time to get ready for the keyboard sequence tracks to start. Sometimes there's sound effects and stuff, and I just have to know ahead of time my own speed of the sequence track, and then the next count of 4 I dictate it to the band. I hope that makes sense. But pretty much every one of my click track patterns when I'm doing keyboard sequences is minimum an 8 count. So our double fours. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now the band. I don't necessarily count 8 because the band only needs a 4 count. But when I'm programming the keyboard track and the click track that goes with it, I always put 8. So I have a guide of 4, and then the next 4 is me relaying that to the band. If there's no keyboards and I'm the one starting the song, it's strictly normally an 8 count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1 and 2, 3, 4. Boom. I can verbally count it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I wish drummers would actually do that more often. Because if you actually hear your voice saying it, you get that steady, a strict spacing of your syllables, and you want it exactly perfect. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I found counting really helps you lock into time by doing both. Eventually, you build your internal clock, and you don't have to count as much out loud. But it's still, if you're learning a new song, it's always good to figure out how many times the chorus goes, how many times the verses go, the spaces between both, how long is that guitar lead, the outro, how many times there's a space before you sing an outro vocal or do an outro guitar lick or a drum fill. If you learn how to count, the mechanics are all there's no guessing, right? The songs are written to time. If you know and understand the timing to that song, and you know exactly where it's placed, on what bar, what number of the bar, like 1, it's on 2, or if it's on 3, or it's on the and, 1 and, there could be a note and there. If you know all the counting, you cannot screw up in learning that song, because the roadmap is there. Mathematics, that's what it is. The math tells you that's where that verse starts. That's where that guitar lead starts. It is stupid to guess. It's stupid to not know simple counting. There's no excuse not to learn it. To guess on stage, to guess all the time is not a good thing. You will never get tight if you guess at everything. Most rock songs are based in 4/4 time, which means you count to 4 for the bars. Depending on fast or slow, it might be 1 E and 2 E and 3. Those are 16th notes I'm counting. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and those are basic 8th notes, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter notes. There's different ways of counting with depending on the song speed, feel, and things like that. But again, there's no excuse not to know how to count. Right? It doesn't take long. It's almost as easy as saying your own name. So anyways, I'm going to give you a little demo here. Just a quick little demo. And this one here is one of my own songs. And I'm just going to put this down here because I have shaky hands, and we'll try and hopefully get this. So what these are a count of 4, count of 4, count of 4, count of 4, count of 4. So I have 1 bar to count the song in. So the band starts. In this case, it's just me playing all the instruments, but in this case, a guitar goes by itself for 4 bars. Okay? It's a simple rock song in 4/4. So we have the lead-in count that cues everything to start. And because there's just guitar here, I have a guide to know how many times I make this guitar part go before all the music comes in. But you could count the 4 through this entire song over and over and over again, and it will work out. So here we go. Okay, so I just do the intro again. So watch. I'll count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's that simple. Now, if I was to count with the click, with my sticks, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, So what happens in this particular song, most of the changes happen on a number 1. All right? It's not really that difficult. It sounds like there's more going on than there is, but it's strictly a 4/4 song. In part of it, I throw the snare off a bit. So it's not on a 2 and a 4. The main groove is, but there's a section where I kind of put this snare on a bit of an upbeat, and you would be able to count that out. You don't need it to help guide the band, though. They're going to be listening to your hi-hats, which are just almost similar to what I'm clicking the sticks. They're in time counting the main groove. The off snare shouldn't bother you at all if you're paying attention to the hi-hats. That's the thing about drums. There are different parts of the drum set, but you're playing things at the same time. So your right limb and left hand and your right hand might be all interconnecting on the same beat. So there's lots of things to listen to help guide you through a song if you're a guitar player, a singer, or a bass player. Again, in this particular song, it's just a 4 count in. We could do it on stage. The keyboards start ahead of time, not a big deal. But I basically have the count set to, on this particular song, just as a guide, a 4 count to when the guitar starts. If you count each section, the guitar goes 4 times before the drums come in. And if you were to learn the song, I'll say the kind of verse sections might go 4 times, might go 8 times. In this particular song, things are even numbers. I mean, that's like an AC/DC song, or some, not all. But at least on the basics, things are pretty even counting. So that's basically the scoop for getting the basics of counting down. The counting is your speed. It also tells the band where to come in, and in some cases dictates the feel. I hope that helps. That's just a basic, simple intro to it. I'm going to do more in-depth ones. But I just noticed a problem with a lot of musicians that are having trouble understanding how to set speeds on stage. Like on jam nights, if you have a drummer up, the drummer should be able to know the speed of the song in his head, and be able to count that speed so that the band comes in at the same speed. Sure, if you count the 6 in slow or whatever speed you want, you count 4 hits, the band will come in on that. But you've got to think, you are dictating the tempo of the song. So you have to know where the kick and snare are in your head in that song to know where the speed is. I don't know if that makes sense, but that is your kick and snare. Think kick and snare. Kick, snare, kick, snare. For the basic songs, just to get going, just to understand this. So kick and snare and kick and snare. So it's also the speed of the song. You can't start and then you get into the song and you're this fast. Okay? You can't do that. The band will not know where you're going speed-wise. They hear this. So they think the speed is there, and all of a sudden you jump in the song and you're this fast. The band will never, ever understand where you're going, and they won't get the tempo right. Right? You have to get the tempo right. It's your job. You know, if you're starting a song, you better know the speed of the song. Kick and snare and kick and snare and kick and snare. Slow songs. Think of yourself playing the hi-hat and the snare and the kick drum. 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3. I was always taught to accent. That's why I start off traditional grip. Because it's so easy to mimic kick and snare. Kick and snare. Kick and snare and kick, snare, kick, snare, and so there you go. Hope that helps, kids. Okay, I'm just doing a little addition to my video here. Okay, this is my tablet that I use on stage. As you can see, as pretty much the library of songs my band plays. We have a lot of material that we do. Some of these are charts. A lot of these are lyrics also. Some are lyric charts. So the basic charts are actual drum parts. Like that. You can see the drum notation. And that wonderful stuff. Something are lyrics. Just plain lyrics. And some are, let's see here, some are lyrics with instructions on drum parts. And how many times certain things go. Lead breaks. This has 7/8 time signature and stuff. Anyways. So that's the scoop for that. I'm just going to show you something here. So let's take a song here. Now this is a song that I never heard before a singer picked it. And right here is a metronome. You can set the time in it right here, tap tempo, or if you know a lot of music charts, as you can see, will have, I'll show you here, a lot of music charts will have the tempo right here. So the quarter note pulse is 75 beats per minute. So we know it's 75, right? So you can go in here, add your 75, apply it, and you can change this to any number. You can use the plus and minuses, or if you know the number, you can actually enter it. So if I want to count the song in, you can see it. I can watch the light on stage, because right now it's bright in my studio, but on stage that really is bright red. And we know the song is in 4/4 time, because even though it doesn't say 4/4, there's 4 quarter notes. So we know it's basically a 4/4 time song, or at least for most of the song. So this is what I'm going to count for the band. Now I can read the light, click my sticks together. If I wanted to, I can take the headphone out and run it into my small little in-ear monitoring system and have the click. You can hear it a little bit, but you would never hear that on stage. So you have to run a line out of the headphone out into your mixer and turn it up. I just use the lights. I'm going to show you here. So I'm watching the light there. So on stage, the band comes in. 1, 2. Sometimes I'll double it up. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4. And I'm counting quarter notes there. 1, and 2, 3, and 4. And or if I count eights, I hit on the numbers and the ends. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And does that make sense? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. All I need is one count. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the song. Yeah, so before I went to the tablet, I used to have sheet music like this on paper in a book, and I used to have a metronome that I used to have on stage. So I wouldn't have, sometimes I would have an earpiece in that I would play this click track all the way through the whole song. Sometimes I just use it for count-ins. So there we go. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. The high-pitched one is the 1, number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Counts the bars for you, basically. Anyways, that's the scoop. Just thought I'd add that. That's what I use to start songs off tempo-wise. Thanks for watching.